on into it. Excuse me. We've got ourselves in the top right-hand side of the map the blue Zerg player from Onside Gaming. This is Solar. See how he can do today. Now it just has a couple of Protoss between him and a spot in the playoffs of this event, and I kind of do hope Solar makes it. I really do, because we have got one Zerg in the playoffs. An extra Zerg would be amazing. Zerg and a Protoss out of this group would give us actually pretty good balance in the playoffs, I believe. Of a 3-3-2 instead of double Protoss from this group would make it like a 5-3-1 or 4-3-1 balance, which obviously is a little bit less nice. So let's see if Solar can help us out on that one. Bottom left, looking to make it a bit more Protoss dominated in the playoff bracket, will be our red Protoss player, MaxPax. He represents Sidestorm Gaming. As we get off into this this game, first probe's already across the map scouting. It was a nice fast hatchery in place. Long map to go across ancient systems, so not too surprising to see the hatchery down before the probe can get there. And now this drone turns around, nibbles at the probe a little bit, some damage being dealt. And we see now Simulator coming through, the hatch still coming up, and Extractor coming down. And that probe just gonna stick around in the main for as long as possible, be annoying on these mineral lines. Force another drone to come off for a few moments. There's gonna be a spawning pool dropping down as well. We do see Solar just continuing with a pretty regular build for the first few moments. Yo, sorry, in the downtime as well, Pick came in with the £5 donation, says thank you for your work. Thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate it. Sorry, I just was looking at my thingy there. That might have even been just as we went BRB as well, so apologies. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As that drone continues to chase a little probie around. Just as you do, thank you so much for the 43-month resub. MaxPax and Trigger, the future of Protoss. Hell yeah, hopefully. We'd love to see Trigger continue to make that kind of trajectory upwards into the upper echelons of Protoss players. He's definitely starting to show some potential. He just has some kinks to work out, I think is fair to say. He definitely has a couple of kinks to figure out a little. As our Adept just continues through, the Stargate coming up. Couple queens, the link speed, all the good stuff coming through for the moment. And drones continuing out as well, and those Lings very nearly killing his own drone. Solar having a little bit of inter-Zerg warfare there. Civil war in the natural. Ay. Well, first Adept's going to be showing up here from MaxPax. He is going to opt for the Stargate, so nothing too crazy, nothing too out of the ordinary in that regard. That's going to be all pretty much kind of the expectations here. As our Adept does grab a drone, and now the few Lings coming around to try and grab the Adept. Coming back over this way. The Adept continues to shade about just a little bit. Link speed still coming up, a couple Lings coming through. The drones are still producing. Adept is going to be coming through the front. Queen is going to ping away here. The couple of Lings still continue out. And again, that Zergling speed is continuing through as well. As the Adept comes around the back of this natural mineral line. A drone already going down. A second drone very nearly taking some damage. There's 2 drones and 4 Lings. Still not bad for the first couple of depths of action there. We do now have the first Oracle on the map. We'll see what it might be able to do over these next few moments as well. So, out comes the Oracle. We do see a Nexus dropping straight down there from MaxPax, so third base can get set up pretty much straight away also. I didn't get to watch Africa Champions Cup, but I do remember seeing bits and pieces of MaxPax playing, I think it was Ragnarok on this map, and it was quite a long game. Quite a lengthy game. As we had some pretty serious back and forth late game PvZ breakout there, so it just kind of makes me wonder if that's the kind of game we see here. I feel like Solar is less likely to let this go to a later stage, but it's definitely not impossible, as our Queens will be there to deflect our Oracle. Feelings pulling back away to the upper right-hand side, just escaping away for the moment. And a couple of Queens is going to go pinging away the Oracles again, so a bit more damage being done. Twilight Forge, Nexus probes, all continuing out. And Solar does make a round of lings here. He's actually going to let these oracles in, unfortunately. There's going to be a few more drones dropping already. A drone on the top side dies as well, by the way, so that's going to be the 4th base slowed down as that oracle is going to slip by into the main base. The few drones now responding to that. The Adept showing up, the lings at least on top of this. They will be able to slow down the advance here and make this a little bit more of a simpler time, but still drones going down. The oracle in the main grabs another one as well, so that's 8 drones dead. Now the 2 oracles at the right side back into the base over there, but the queens are going to be in position, so it looks as though 8 is going to be the max we find. For the moment, at least, that is where we will set up for now. Blinking +1, continuing through. Queen's coming in, the oracle's still taking some damage, getting pushed back around over here for a couple of moments so far. So good on that one. Oracle's coming through, a couple more drones are going down, just going to be seeing our +1 attack. +1 armor, blink, the stalkers, all of that continues through the queens. Excuse me. Sorry, this next is going to be under some trouble as the lings show up. This is where the oracle's going to have to step up and defend with, deal with this. MaxPax is going into the double forge upgrades as well, by the way. So as you set up into double forge, you do kind of commit into quite a bit of aggression with that. As you have 2 drones going down, Adepts again finding just a little bit of damage here and there. Let's find some little bits and pieces to deal some damage with for the moment. One of our stalkers coming back around this left-hand side, trying to see what they want to do. Oh, the stalker's just going to come across. We do drop another revelation or so, so this is where MaxPax can keep up the pressure. And again, he played double forge, right, which is a little bit more focused on kind of getting set up for later on in the game. In general, you're just going to have very powerful upgrades throughout, but that does come at the cost of some units initially. These Banelings trying to slip in over here. Good defense with the Stalker Warp, and it's just going to make those Banes derp out enough to protect. Only 2 probes going down. We continue to fight on this side. Just still not have enough to deal with this. My worry for Solo is that he just lost a lot of drones this game. 15 went down. And so this first real push of the Protoss is genuinely going to be problematic. Solo's got so many things that just aren't ready yet. +2 melee, Bane speed, +1 missiles. And that Stasis Ward is not exactly going to help you out. It kind of creates a bit of a wall, but yeah, I don't think MaxPax is going to care about walking past it if there's just not any units there to stop you going. Always continue to fight. The Roaches take a little bit more damage here. My Queens will continue to put out some damage and do what they can as well, as Roaches will grab 1 more Stalker kill. Well, Solar is kind of holding on. He is kind of defending up on this top side. I don't think it's been super pretty, and MaxPax does have money to spend, which is terrifying when this Warp Prism is heading to your main base, because that means that could be a massive warp in. Nexus in the upper left corner goes down as well. The few Zealots already start to wander through. And that's going to go straight towards a group of Roaches there, as now these Stalkers will get pushed back. Stasis Ward going to capture a few Zerglings as well. Still just going to be seeing our +2 attack, soon our +2 armor, all coming out. Couple cannons coming in, the Robo Bay coming in. Everything getting set up for the moment as... Oh! I was going to say those Banelings. It's the last thing you want to do, and it's a little sad because now there was enough Banes to maybe at least bust down a pylon or something. Now there will not be. So that was really just a fully wasted run by from Solar. There's a few Lings trying to catch these Zealots. I'm not sure if these Lings are catching the Zealots or the Zealots are catching the Lings. Maybe the other way around is the Zealots do clean them out, push them back. Solar has actually a lot of money to spend that he's just not spending on his way to Hive Tech. Can he survive? The Stasis Ward is going to catch a few of his Lings in, which have helped him grab a couple Stalkers, but overall stopped him from continuing through to look for a surround. Rhythm sets up, just going to be seeing an additional warp in as well coming through. +3, +2. Finishing shortly as well, so we are going to see at least the +2 for MaxPax here for a little bit. So his units again looking good upgrade-wise. Solar trying to work his way to the Hydra Den, as he just has layer tech in general able to start coming into play. MaxPax just working the same position as he's done pretty much the entire time. He doesn't feel the need to go anywhere else. This time the first Disruptor doesn't catch too much. More Roach Link continues by. That's going to be seeing our Stalkers. It's going to continue to take some hits, taking some damage. It's going to be seeing the Zealots coming through. They're going to knock down a hatchery bottom right. I mean, 5th base kind of is a big deal at this stage, right? Production-wise especially. And MaxPax just has 5 bases untouched. The only harass we've seen is being shut down repeatedly. Zealots and Stalkers continue to fight. Roaches, Queens, Lings taking a bunch of shots as well. We are going to be seeing a few more Roaches coming across. Some Zealots trying to hit the right side mineral line. In they go. 12 more Zealots all coming through. 3-3 upgrades, extended thermal lance. And we are going to be having ourselves too much from MaxPax. Solar has not really an option but to type out GG's and to take us to a game number 2 of this. Players just come straight out of the game. Like, sometimes, like, here's the unfair advantage that MaxPax gets when it comes to hosting the lobby. Is that when the game ends, the players can just come straight out, whereas I stay in the game to finish my sentence or so, and then I press the button to, like, change camera, then I come out of game, because it looks better for the YouTube video, right? So that's typically what I try to do. So then the players have at least a 5 to 10 second window advantage over me, you know? So it's basically they're cheating. They're basically cheating, but, you know. So the top left, MaxPax in the bottom right as we get ourselves into this game number 2. And winner of this takes on Showtime in a winner's match. The loser will get a free win over Ragnarok in the elimination match. And then that means that the loser of this plays the loser of Showtime versus the winner of this, if that makes sense. It's a little bit more complicated to say than usual, but you should get the... It's not crazy concept. Let's get ourselves set up here. A drone, just going to nibble at a probe for a couple of moments. Just going to take that as a little bit of a starting point of some damage. Drone comes back around, probe still being chased around just a little bit. That's one pool coming down as well. Next is Apical. We're getting built here. Probe continues out as well. So all of this coming through for the moment. Just seeing our simulator. Still coming into play. Gonna finish up and just get itself some gas mining. Very exciting start, guys. PvZ early game. Very chill. Very chill. Queen's coming out. A few drones on the way. Link speed is still coming up. You see our Stargate and Nexus continue to produce. Just gonna nibble on those rocks on the low ground. Just gonna still see our Queens out in the center, and the Adept continuing. Move forward for the moment. Back over this side. See if it can get anything. There's a lot of Lings nearby. Doesn't really make sense to shade into that then, of course, in that scenario. So we're just gonna let that shade go off. Well, Deb's poking. Obviously, the hatchery obviously just not going to take any serious damage or so, but just good to keep an eye on things. And just work our way through these early few moments, getting set. Queen's going to poke at the Adepts one more time. Well, Link Speed's about to be done. Now, Oracles are coming up again. Do you expect MaxPax to be as aggressive as last time? Do you expect the double forge like last time as well? I guess it's a good question too. I mean, last time the double forge doesn't necessarily kind of insinuate aggression right from the beginning, right? But once he had those double forge upgrades, he really didn't just let, he just didn't let up that position on the top side of engine system for anything. So once he got to a certain point, he still did turn, click on the aggressive switch. Three drones going down. The Adept Oracle combo is going to find some pretty reasonable success here. Unfortunately, here these Adepts are going to be caught in a corner they can't get out of, but I mean, still, and a couple more drones opens the door for the Oracles as well, although one Oracle will drop. So that's going to be one dead Oracle. He actually only had 2 Oracles out. Oracle number 3 is now being made, so going to replace this back up to 2 Oracles in total, out and about on the map and staying busy. Things on the south, picking their way through the Nexus, nibbling through there. And just a little bit more damage done. The more you can keep up with that Nexus going down, is the better off it comes for him. So, and the more you delay that, the better off you are. Bane that's coming up, as Solar shows us a little bit of Ling Bane for this mid stage of the game then. So getting some ideas as to what he wants to do with that. Oracle's still just coming out for the moment. Just going to actually grab a drone. There's our follow-up. Twilight Council, Forge, probably just the +1. Oh, and a charge upgrade. So we are going to see something a bit different from MaxPax. The charge, maybe not what I was immediately thinking we were about to have. Not a bad choice, though, as our few Zealots continue to swipe the lanes. Trying to wrap around where possible. A few Banes showing up. Quite aggressive from Solo then. Just 43 drones, and he hasn't droned further. So actually looking to hit right now, and obviously this is before really any of the tech and MaxPax comes online outside of just having the Oracles. At the very least here, this third base looks like it's going to be in quite a bit of trouble. And still going after a few more pros. We have had drones dying on the other side for all the effort Solo's putting in over here. MaxPax is still maintaining a worker lead, which kind of makes you feel as Solo drones, they probably hasn't quite done enough. Things will continue to swarm forward. Stalkers will just get chased away a few moments. Settle again surrounded as well. A couple of Banes are going to try and crash through the front here now. They're not going to really be able to do enough though, so we're going to turn back around to this left-hand side, where we're going to go straight after the Nexus once again. Just going to knock that down. And these things continue to have an absolute field day at the moment. Now that you've killed the third base, is this enough to kind of take this into a different stage of the game? Maybe. It might just be. Temple Archives and Charge will continue up as well. I mean, that's where Max is going to try and take this. Now it's Solar Drones, he obviously now goes, 3-4 bases against 2 base economy 4 bits. This is where he really booms. This is where he really takes his advantage. And in my eyes, I think it is going to turn out to probably be just about enough. Things continue down to the bottom right side once again. A few High Temple coming up, a couple Archons coming in. Zerglings will launch themselves on towards that Nexus, but will not quite be able to go after it. Our Robo facility is just about halfway done now as well, so continues to bring that through for the moment. And you're going to see MaxPax on a bit of a counterattack with Zealots, obviously, and Zealot Archon. You can generally have pretty aggressive pushes. I just don't see this army being enough. It's really 3 Zealots and 2 Archons. There's nothing else to really kind of boost it up. I mean, obviously the Stasis Ward lets you get away a bit more easily. Zealots on the left side at the same time. I think that Stasis Ward was there, otherwise I feel like we were about to lose so freaking much. If that wasn't in place, would have been really quite terrible. Final Zealot going down as well, and we do have the Spy about to finish from Solar. The position in this game definitely starting to look a whole lot better. Definitely starting to look much prettier. As Robot Bear continues through, he's going to be seeing the Prism coming now. High Tempo already got knocked down. That's coming in from this right-hand side. Just going to be seeing the Ling's going to respond. The Roaches as well, going to chase those Zealots away. Over to the corner. Way they shall go is otherwise have just Archon sending it back at home, but MaxPax's supply is 110. Solo's going to have Mutas to start dragging him around, and then on top of that, the Mutas are going to drag, MaxPax around a little bit. Then you're also just going to have that surge of Roaches coming through, so that also seems to be pretty important definition right now, is just have our just going after the Prism. Here comes the Mutas here. He's going to knock down a cannon as well, so the initial preparation from MaxPax is, of course, minimal. Of course, it's meant to be. That's kind of the way this works. He's just going to continue around for a little bit. You see now, Mutas. I'm just not having a great time with the Archons getting underneath them, but we're actually doubling down on more Mutas as well, which I'm kind of surprised about. All High Templar just coming through and getting set up right now. He's coming back down this bottom right side. He's going to knock down a little bit over here. A couple of Phoenix getting chased away. Mutas will stay active. I really thought this was going to be like a handful of Mutas into like a big swarming army. That's obviously not how this has gone at all. See, Mutas going to dive back over the left-hand side. Phoenix coming through. Stalker's going to sit there and just push those Mutas around a little bit. Just come through, 3 more probes, 6 more probes. So again, just finding some openings, keeping MaxPax on the back foot now. Here comes this swarmier army that I was maybe expecting us to have had, come through a little bit sooner. Obviously, keeping MaxPax in 3 bases at the very least. That's already a pretty good start. Good Stasis Ward on the left side catches a bunch of Banelings. The Bane's trying to crash in the front. The Archons are too much for the Mutas, and MaxPax's force is actually terrifying. It's very difficult to fight through what MaxPax currently has over here, so that 100% is going to remain an issue. Bane's get a few more shots, 9 probes going down, but obviously Solo has the money, he can rebuild and go again a few times, but he needs to actually make some progress in these fights, and I don't know if he made any progress at all really in the last fight. 10 probes are extremely replaceable, even on 3 bases, and at this point, it's obviously just a bit of saturation missing on the 3rd, but if we can get that sorted out, then the economy is in just a pretty good place in general, so Archons and Stalkers coming around. We're just going to see these Banes rolling down the ramp. Going to go straight into all of these Archons. Plus, taking some shots as well. Lings and Roaches coming back in from the bottom side. Just going to go wrapping around everything here. I mean, that's the kind of fight you're looking for as Solo. The kind of fight you can just collapse on your opponent, take advantage of your supply. That will do it for Solo to take it to a 1-1 scoreline. Turns out, if Showtime does lose in that winner's match, it will be versus Showtime. So, where we stand is in the bottom right corner. A blue Protoss player from Storm and Gaming. This is MaxPax. Great in that first game, looked dominant and controlled the game very nicely. On the top left-hand side, Solar in game number 2. The Mutas kind of took a little while to get going, perhaps, but he was far enough ahead, and he was able to do enough with the Mutas to kind of keep things back. But it did work out. All said and done here. GG's. Alrighty, so Game number 3 as that probe comes forward. Just gonna get the hatchery down, gonna block up that natural for a little bit. But I think it's disrespectful to viewers if a player leaves too early and does not fight on, especially if it's not clear that they have lost. What do I think? I don't think it's disrespectful to viewers at all. Player is the one playing the game. They can choose if they feel like they're dead or not. As a player, you're not looking to please or the viewers or anything outside of being punctual and on time. Like within the game, you do what you do, right? Like leaving early is a thing that sometimes is a mistake, and that's just, you know, a mistake in the game, right? So, yeah, I don't think it's disrespectful. And what's the goal? Like so many times players leave a game and then chat argues like, he wasn't dead, and we ask the player and the player's like, are you kidding me? I was so dead. Like there's literally no way I play out of this situation. You ask their opponent, like, yeah, he was dead. You ask anyone to watch it, they're like, they were dead. But like Twitch chat, like, he wasn't dead. Why did he leave the game? So that just doesn't make sense, right? So players do what they want to do in the game. As long as they show up on time, they don't, you know, take a break if you need a break, but don't like disappear for like 20 minutes in the middle of the match. You know, as you know, once you're inside of the game, basically, then I don't think there's any wrong a player can do, because then you're just playing the game. Their job is to play the game to the best of their ability, or what they feel like is their best, and to make their own decisions there. Isn't it the same as a fighter tapping out early in MMA? As someone who's never watched MMA, I have no idea, but like, I mean, what do you want me to do? Like, punish a player for punish a player for not taking a fight that they're gonna lose anyway? Like, why are we disrespecting the player's time if they just want to get into the next game already? If they want to get go into the next match, why should they feel bad taking a fight they know they can't win just to entertain us? Some players like to stay in the game when they're super freaking dead and play until the last second of breath, because they like to kind of, you know, get in the heads of their opponents or think about the next game. But some people don't. Like, you're just imposing conditions on the player for the, you know, to satisfy the viewer, when it doesn't really make a difference to the viewer, you know. As a viewer, a caster, I've never felt disrespected by a player leaving quotation marks early. Sometimes, like, boo, you didn't give us the final fight. Ah, come on. But, like, realistically, like, we kind of knew what that fight was going to look like anyways when I say these things, right? It's, you know, very much so a written thing. It's just like, oh, go on, take the fight just for giving us a proper final moment. But, like, no, I don't think, like, I've ever been disrespected because they decided to leave the game. Blizzard need to patch out the concede button. Yeah, you should only lose when you actually lose all your buildings. Can't wait for every game to take, like, can you imagine there's no concede button, players start killing their own buildings to help speed up the process? That'd be funny. Now, what would be disrespectful would be if I'm like, right guys, well, you know what, I've actually had enough of this PvZ, so I'm just going to turn the game off, and I will see you guys again when the next series starts. I've just had enough of this one, you know. Yeah, you know what? The Slings got in. That's fine. All right, guys. I've had enough of this PvZ, so yeah, let's have the Wardy show until Showtime versus the winners ready. That would be disrespectful because, you know, it's actually my job to be here and entertain and show you guys every portion of the game, right? But in terms of actually, the player's job is to play the game to the best of their abilities, so. A couple of adepts come through, a drone goes down, a few lings wrapping around as the adepts only going to have one drone kill. That's going to be it. I mean, a few lings as well, but only one drone makes it a pretty decent defense with solar oracles. Dive through the spore. That's perhaps a dead oracle. It's just going to stay alive. Fortunate for MaxPax. He's going to get 2 more, 3, and now, well, okay, now 3 more drones in the mains on top of 2 in the natural, so he gets 5 more drones at the end. And what started off very well for Solar actually turns into something that really wasn't quite, yeah. Something else that wasn't quite, really that pretty. So sad because, again, it looked so good, and now it's just like the Oracles really, you know, Oracles and the Adepts really did succeed. Some of the Oracles are a little bit low on HP, which is, yeah, it's nice to have a couple Oracles lower on HP, but unless you actually get a chance to finish those off, that doesn't really mean much of anything, so a little bit rough. Let's see, Blink coming up, our +1 coming through, additional gateways all coming through, the Forges coming in, our Zerglings are all producing with the Ravagers, and the Queens have walked. Solar never rebuilt his drones. Oracle here drops a revelation. MaxPax should know of the lack of saturation on the third base, that there's just not going to be, you know, drones happening or building over there, so he pulls back now. A couple of cannons start up on this low ground. He's going to start a couple on the natural too. You got to defend both locations, right? As we're initially going to start sending units towards this third base, which is going to be, well, under fire straight away. These Stalkers are going to sit here. They do not have Blink yet, so this turns into a really nice timing for Solar because Blink is missing. Corrosive Bowels towards that Super Battery, trying to keep the Oracles up and healthy. It's going to knock the Super Battery down. Stalkers could really do with Blink. How much can we do here as Solar before MaxPax gets that Blink? We're still not quite there yet. There's the countdown on the right side of the screen. Few seconds to go. Blink finishing will make these Stalkers so much better. Solar have enough? Okay, so now here's my new question. Now does Solar have enough to play this out with the Stalkers having Blink? Ideally, he needs to finish off the third base, right? Like, I think that's one thing he absolutely needs at this stage, because if his army isn't going to win out, getting the third base at the very least gives him a playable game. He gets that. MaxPax supply blocked off the back of it. Nothing on the way, so he'll have to lose a unit before he can warp in. That's actually huge. He's missing an entire warp-in cycle right now. Starts 2 more pylons and a hidden nexus in the bottom left corner because he has the spare money. 3 more pylons. Like, he is so heavily supply blocked. Solar is going to just make a round of drones, though. He's going to let up on the pressure. I don't blame him. He's done a lot already. And continue to kind of just trying to do more right now is just maybe a lot of the time, 9 times out of 10, a bit greedy. In this case, it might have been great because of the supply block. But if the supply block wasn't there, MaxPax had an extra warp in the Stalkers. I think he's got enough to defend and hold out, so it's better for Solar to set up for the future. So that makes a lot more sense, and that's exactly what he'll do, as our Stalkers will still be a presence on this map here. Moving forward now, some crew spread to clean out if they can get a chance to. They also have charge and +1 armor on the way to support them behind this. No +2 attack. +1 armor will finish a little sooner. It's a little faster to build, it's a little cheaper to start. And +2 attack, but generally with the Stalker heavy army, you are looking towards those attack upgrades, as the Stalkers are quite frequently, well, believe it or not, Stalkers are quite frequently attacking, guys. So yeah, they usually trying to find a lot of value out of that. Moving to the upper right-hand side, and the space in the bottom left is found, so Solar knows that's there. That's okay for Solar. He doesn't need to deny that immediately, because that's kind of in a bad position anyways for MaxPax, so in theory, he should have some good chances to take that down a bit further down the line in general. Protoss coming through, those Stalkers get kept back. Ballings coming through the center, Ravagers and Queens is going to sit here and it's going to poke away. Fueling is going to get caught in the first stasis ward there as well, so that's just going to be a catch for a couple of moments. Couple more Corrosive Bowels coming out, Linger Ravager coming through. And our probes do finally transfer to that base bottom left as well, so now MaxPax is going to benefit from having that location. Until now, it wasn't really doing anything apart from being a possibility. Now it's a reality. Now it's a proper base. Stalker's not fighting too much here, mind you. We will see the stasis catching a few lings, but that will be about it. So we actually have some Roaches trying to hit the bottom left. Zealots run into them, though. These Roaches able to deal with those Zealots. I think there are indeed enough. I'm actually going to force the Stalker warp recall back to the bottom, though. And now we might actually be able to fight there, as Solar is going to become the aggressor onto this location with his entire army. As the Roach Ravager moving up on the high ground. The Oracles see this. The Oracle getting kills as we go. But now where do these Stalkers go? They blink left, but that's into the Roaches. They didn't really have another option. Reinforcing Stalkers from the upper right side, the ones that were not recalled, come to join the fray. Corrosive Bowels will knock the Super Battery down. Corrosive Bowels now going to try and zone out from the high ground. Stalker, Stalker, Stalker. That's all MaxPax has to try and make a dream happen here. He's got 1-1 against 0-0. Solar pretty darn committed to these attacks, but he's getting damage done. And if obviously he takes over this position, he's going to take down the base. And once more, MaxPax will reset to 2 bases only, and 2 bases only is not exactly going to cut it. As our Roach Ravager just continues through here, jumping all the way through on top of these Stalkers. Looks as though MaxPax just going to retreat away for a couple of moments. There goes our Nexus. Actually, MaxPax did build up this base again, so he does have this over here. So I said he'd be back on 2 bases. That's obviously not true. He still has 3, although only 42 probes, so kind of a 2-base economy. Until he gets a few more up. So invested into a melee upgrade, into a Baneling Nest as well, so he is going to continue through a little bit at the very least. We'll continue moving around. Going to see 6-side Templar coming up as well as that Corrosive Bile is going to knock down a set of rocks. Through over there is going to be seeing our Revelation dropping down one more time. Our additional Archons still coming up. Another Disruptor shot. Feelings kind of getting chipped at. See, our Disruptor is coming out. Our Archons, our Stalkers coming through. So let's still max here as he's up against Disruptors though. It's a bit more complicated to deal with. First 2 Disruptor shots there. Do you connect? There's the Banes on the bottom left side. They got caught in a stasis, so they don't do much. Disruptor from the high ground somehow only finds 1 Ravager, which is maybe a bit of a letdown considering how much was just clumped up on that low ground. That looked as though it was going to be so much more. Solar is still nigh on maxed out though. And that is the big difference here. That MaxPax is just not getting that little bit of extra oomph in the army. Really. Some missing out there as a Roach Ravager will knock down a set of rocks, opening up this position. Thorax will go down. Army still setting out in the center. He knock a pylon down on the south. Both those Zealots will go down. Just gonna get knocked there as well as you see Archon Stalker still pushing through. Excuse me, a curse of Stays War just getting a couple lings. That Disruptor shot is great though. And if Solo loses this game, this is gonna be why, because these Disruptors are finding a lot of damage. Resource lost, favoring MaxPax by a couple of thousand. MaxPax gonna head back down the bottom side, trying to deal with this army, which is coming in from a flank. Another great stasis ward catches a chunk of Banelings. They will not be allowed to do what they want to do here. More Banes coming out, moving through. As you see, the Roach is actually unable to deal some damage. There's an Archon in the front that was pretty low. We leave it alone. Solar needs to just remax again, but he's still remaxed on the same old as before. Just gonna go get chased away. Stalkers and Archon still clearing out some creep. Disruptor shot here, gonna knock down a few Roaches. Bane's gonna come in from this other side. That's actually a massive connection on the Banelings with the Disruptor. My goodness. Stasis Ward and just the Disruptor getting so many Banes, and again, Solo's unable to really take a big fight here. He's unable to really get enough done as a hatchery in the bottom left is going to go down. Excuse me. We do get a couple of stasis wards getting caught. It's going to be seen now. Banes, our Roaches still setting up from the center of the map. That's going to be seen our Ling Bane still producing through. +2 melee. And just going to be coming out, going to be finishing in a couple of momentos as our Disruptor. He will just find the 1 Ravager, but they are really the lifeline of MaxPax. These Disruptors are giving him some hope, giving him some chance. Let's do melee at least. And again, massive upgrade because it allows you to one-shot probes with the Banelings. So then you have to be really on top of the Baneling run-bys. Any Baneling in a mineral lane suddenly is way deadlier than before. All it takes is one. Probes will be dropping as his LT get cleaned up. Solar is splitting out again. Max out versus 137 supply. 84 versus 130 armies, so it is only about a 50 army supply lead for Solar if it's not, if it is a bit more elsewhere. The Disruptor shots, a little bit scary. A few Banelings kind of getting towards the Disruptors, but not sure that's necessarily where the Banelings want to go. In the end, I guess you just take them because that's what you're close to, and it's the splash damage that adds up. Good splits from Solar on the Banelings. He's had multiple Disruptors flirting with the central mass of Banes. He manages to split away. Just stop that being a factor. Knocks down the 4th base as we go. 15 probes dead. It does feel as though Solar is truly, in this game, finally breaking through. Finally getting that little bit of an edge he's been looking for this entire time, really. Additional zealots coming up, plus 2 attacks still building in. Army coming to the center, the Observer still coming up, Revelation still going down, another fight. Gonna break out. First Disruptor shot is huge, Roach Ravager getting caught in it. There's not any stasis wards left if I'm not mistaken. This is really down to the Disruptors this time. And the Disruptors alone, some Banes gonna get dead center on these Stalkers. Honestly, just the fact they're stacked up at all means the Banes end up doing pretty well. We knocked down the pylon, stopping the warp in. Banes are in the mineral line. That will do it. Solo will take the series 2-1. He will get the chance to play versus Showtime in the winners match. Again, just as a reminder to you all, that Showtime